Hello, welcome back. Now that have been practicing using your voice with embedded commands and embedded suggestions, what I'm going to share with you now is a technique called the quotes pattern, where you can use those embedded commands and suggestions to maintain that priming effect, creating that train of thought, and use it in a way where it's more direct as if you're quoting something, and you can use your voice and those suggestions naturally. And so the way it would sound like and look like would be where you're quoting somebody. And again, think about your outcome, the mindset, the expectations, and the markers that you want to use. If it's to lower your voice, to pause, to gaze at them, to make a gesture, to tap them on the arm or on the hand. Keep that in mind as you're going through this exercise, and it's also as you practice this. So, quoting somebody. It would be sitting down with somebody and you say something to the effect of, just the other day, I was talking to a potential client. I told the client, choose me to help you sell your house, or select me to help you buy your new property, your next home, your first home, because I really understand your needs and I want you to feel confident to select me. So now you're quoting, and I actually use two examples, as a seller and a buyer. And so I'm quoting a conversation. And in that conversation, then you lower your voice and make the commands on the specific words or phrases that you want to stand out or to create that priming effect. Choose me. And I told them to select me, and then look and nod yes. Maintain that flow. Think about a quote that you can use within a conversation when you're meeting with a potential client, a buyer or a seller, and then just use it naturally. You can also use it as a story. In your talking to the client, and you just said, just the other day, I was talking to a client, and I was thinking to myself, what can I do to really make this client feel confident to choose me, excited, and just assured that select me to help them. So it's a story combination quote pattern, but it's more of a story. You're not exactly what you're quoting. You're now sharing a story that you were thinking about something the other day. You were thinking about what else can I do to make sure this client choose me to help you buy your property, or make sure that this client selects me with confidence. So select me with confidence. Lower your voice, authority, and also as a subtle suggestion embedded command. So that's the quote pattern in stories. Simply think about a quote that you can use as suggestions or commands, and also a story. Write out a story as an exercise, and also write out a quote. That way you have them interchange and you can think about them, and you can easily remember them and memorize them. Just write it out, and then the next element would be a matter of just marking it. When I say marking, lower your voice or pause, select me, or gestures, motions, head nod, the markers that we've covered already. So practice those. Think about stories you can share with people and write them out, and also think about a quote that you can use, quoting somebody, quoting a conversation. We're going to be going into, I just want to keep this brief so you can really absorb this. And next we're going to go into, on the next lesson, the criteria. The question to ask somebody, a potential client, in regards to keeping their train of thought so they see you and think about you as the ideal person to help them. And then also in that segment, I'm going to go into the ambiguous language, ambiguous pattern interrupts. That way, it creates almost like a sense of suspension in a trance as you're trying to figure out what you just said. And then you just keep on, continue on with your conversation. The criteria is very important. You really need to really understand it so that you're using it naturally and maintaining that flow, because using the embedded commands and the suggestions is one thing, but you also want to use them in a way that's more specific and strategic for them to see you and select you as the right person to help them. So have some fun with this. Watch some magic happen. And to be continued for the next lessons. Thank you. Bye now.